So we're going live now.
Okay.
Good evening, viewers. Once again, we are back with Teatime Talks, episode 8. So I welcome all of you to another Teatime Talks. I'm here with Saher Ali, who is a holistic psychologist and art therapist. As we look around us today, we are going through one of the worst medical or health emergencies in the country. There have been a lot of there has been pain, there has been grief. We have seen people lose loved ones, people have lost jobs, and even those who are not directly affected by this pandemic are also living in a state of constant anxiety and fear. And that is why I thought we should get some expert help on trying to find out ways to stay positive and stay optimistic in this scenario. Also, I would invite all the people who are watching to come up with their questions. Saher is the founder of Totem's Art Studio, where she combines art therapy with, of course, psychological consultations. And I found it very fascinating how she combines both, and I've also attended one of her sessions. So hope to get some answers on mental health and wellness from Saher. Welcome, Saher, to our show.
Thank you, Shivani. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with, I would like to know how you got intrigued towards psychology and how you took it up as a profession, and where did the art come in?
Uh, well, I've been practicing now for about 18 years, and I felt drawn towards the profession. It just happened in a very natural way for me to get into counseling. And I have worked as a lecturer, as a counselor, and a trainer in the last years. But it was only recently that I started using art into my practice. I brought art into my practice for insightful learning, creativity, catharsis, and healing. And after having done that, I found that it took the stigma away from counseling and made counseling more approachable. And I was able to reach out to a lot more people, a lot more individuals who needed help. So, with the changing times, we have seen that people are more ready to talk about issues concerning mental health. And this has somewhat, I guess, been a part of my journey as well. And I have felt more openness and acceptance about my profession, and that has helped, my journey. Also, as a professional, I must say that as a counselor, it's a very different job from any other job where our personality, our personal being, we get involved. And it's not like you can be a different person in your sessions and then come back home and be different. So it has to be congruent. You have to be the same person. So even that has been a journey for me in the last years, and it's been beautiful. So that's been my professional journey.
Okay, and coming to Totem's Art Studio, how did you think of starting it, and how did you get more interested in the art part of it?
Well, I guess, Shivani, there comes a time in your life where you realize that, you have practiced all your skills enough. You have, it's like learning how to drive. You've learned it so many times. You've practiced all the skills that is just all right to go off on your own now. So that's what I did. I decided to, just be independent in my practice and name it after my own nickname. That is Totems, is what my friends would call me in school. So I said,
Okay.
yeah, why not just name it after myself, And that's what I did.
Okay. Now, psychology helps us understand the human mind. do situations such as what we are going through right now, the pandemic, put a larger stress on human psyche? And how can psychology help in such a scenario?
Um, well, I think that the uncertainty of what we are experiencing, right now, as we think about the future, the uncertainty of the future, and the tragedy, the grief, and the pain and the suffering of today
Yes,
is not something that we were ever, prepared for.
true.
This is not what we were, there's been no inoculation or anything. It is a crisis, it's an emergency situation
Yeah.
that has extended over, it's overextended in a period
Over
of
a
time.
year.
So
I mean,
it has really
a
taken.
year now. We thought it's over in Feb, March, and again, we're back where we were last year. I think it's been worse this year.
Yes, it's like we were turning the corner of the road and then it became a larger monster there. So we were not prepared for it, and it has put a lot of strain on our on our psyche, and it's very hard for us to deal with this, to find answers. So uh, yes, it's not something that we can comprehend. The loss that we are experiencing of our loved ones, those tragedies are inconsolable.
Yes,
What we are or the suffering of people who are not able to find the help and are losing their lives, that too is too much grief and tragedy and trauma for us to take as a race, as adults, uh, and not to mention even, and not to forget, even the children are experiencing this.
I feel they are suffering the most, and sometimes I feel, what is their fault? What did they do to deserve this? Uh,
Truly, truly,
it's
because
very
this is
difficult
a.
when I start thinking on those lines. Now, people are going through unprecedented anxiety and fear as we are talking. What are some of the psychological issues that you feel can arise in such a situation?
You see, when we are experiencing stress, right, we forget to breathe,
Oh, yes,
right?
that happens.
Uh, uh, yeah. So, like, you may have noticed that you might suddenly remember to gasp for breath when you're like going through something fearful.
Yes.
So, we stop breathing when we are under stress. When we are not mindful about it, our breathing can be compromised.
Okay.
And that happens, and we also start using our resources. uh, they're like being overworked right now.
Yes.
Our energy resources, our reserves, we are working on our reserves now, for especially for those of us who have a situation at home where we need to take care of people who are not well.
Yes.
So so it's like working in an ICU. I mean, we're not working in one, but the stress could be such that we
Similar.
are always on high alert, like in an ICU or an air traffic control room, those kind of like stressful jobs. But so our stress is so high that we now can see that we have not been breathing all right for almost 2 years. I mean, like more than a
Yeah.
year. It is like that. So the effect of that
Mhm.
can be quite detrimental in terms of like our health. It would affect our digestive system, it could affect our respiration, it could cause headaches, uh, and other different psychosomatic illnesses can arise
Yes.
from not being able
And
to.
also, the fear, like every time I sneeze, I think it's probably corona. You go through that entire cycle of checking your oxygen levels and gargling, and there's so much of things you try to prevent this, but at the end of the day, you never know when you have actually got it. I mean, there are tests for that. But how can one do to what can one do to be in a slightly positive state of mind now? For example, a simple word like positivity has also become negative. We used to say stay positive, now we say don't be positive,
Yeah, it is
corona positive.
confusing. I want to be positive about you testing negative. So
Yeah,
it's like that, right? So yeah, I think also there's some people I have noticed are talking about toxic positivity as well, where
true.
there's just too much positivity. So
Yes.
I think more than anything else, like I said, we are in a crisis situation, which means that uh, things are not normal, and we can't really expect to be fully functional at this point. What we can take care of is our basic routine and nutrition, our health. Try to exercise, try to do have a creative outlet, and try to have some fun and warm time. Like a time where you can have some family, fun together as a family,
Yes.
and also some time for yourself to do the same. So, beyond these very regular basic things, uh, we may not be able to aspire for a lot more at this time.
Yes.
So, within our control, what we have is right under our nose,
Yes.
and that's our breath.
Oh,
We can focus on our breath.
okay.
I know it may sound really simple,
Now it's
but
something very basic, but you're right. We one thing is we are mostly we breathe shallow. When we get into meditation and mindfulness, even yoga, pranayama, and all, what they tell you, breathe deep. You know, so
yeah.
that calms your mind. And on a day-to-day basis, we don't do that when we are stressed out.
True. True. So if we could, one of the things that I could suggest is that you can keep one hand on your abdomen here, and just like one hand here on your chest,
Okay.
when you're feeling kind of anxious,
Mhm.
and you can just watch yourself breathe, or you can put one hand on your head here. So just to see yourself breathe, you when you inhale, you need to expand your abdomen, and when you exhale, you contract it. So that way you're able. So whenever you remember, you could come back to your breath. So
Okay.
that means you need to remember, you need to be with your breath at all times. It's
Okay.
okay if you
Yeah.
forget, but
Yeah.
when you forget, come back.
Come back.
Keep coming back. Keep coming back, because that's your way of telling yourself that I am there for you. Your mind body connect, your inner strength, calm, and wisdom. That's what we have in our control, and that's what we can really bank on to find anchoring during a very, very difficult time.
Now, what are the issues being faced by children and youngsters in this time? And how can we help them stay happy indoors? You've mentioned art therapy also, but
Yeah.
could you tell us how that helps or anything creative, any creative outlet? How does it
So, well, when it comes to our children, right, like they interpret kids, the younger ones, they especially, till a certain age, I guess, or maybe always, we kind of interpret our world through our parents.
help? Yes.
So, how we are behaving around the news,
And
around certain, and how we are, expressing our anxiety
true.
is what they are trying to understand. And when they see their parents unable to deal with some situations, it is a confusing time for them. They feel kind of like unsettled.
Yeah.
And then you might see some anxious behavior from their side. So, what they are doing is literally copying you,
Yes.
but you wouldn't even know. The theme is the same, the content is different. So, they don't know better, they are only following what they see.
Yes. For
So,
example, like if we are glued onto screens and our phones and social media all day, they would also emulate us and
yeah,
probably absorb too much of over information.
yes, and also, like for example, now suppose if you can notice when you get a call,
Yes.
you may find yourself pacing up and down,
Yeah, we do that.
not aware of what you're saying in which room,
Yes.
around which child. So this is agitation. This is you're not calm, and nothing wrong with that. But it's just the way you're responding. Your kid is going to see this, and when they are under stress or they are experiencing some stress, you might see agitation in another way
Mhm. True.
on them. They may not pace. They might be like squirmish in their chairs or banging or doing something, and you'll be like, "Why is my child behaving this way?" But they learnt it from you. So
Also, they're not being able to go outdoors, and play like normal children. So they also have to exert their whatever energies they have and
yes,
be
it's
active.
extremely
Children are
frustrating for
supposed to
them.
be active. So
Yeah,
how
and
can we harness that energy better?
yeah, it is very frustrating for them, and they need to kind of have a way to express their energy. And physical activity would have been ideal for them. And yes, I'm sure some parents are looking out for like online sessions and trying to do their best in terms of getting some physical activity for their children. So dance is a great way
True.
for children and parents to both get together and have some fun and exercise.
That's a great idea because normally we tell our children to do this, do that. Why not join them?
Yes, because we need to also like have that fun. Why not for ourselves? We need to also eat the things they're eating, enjoy life that they are enjoying. Why not? So, and they also feel like this is something of meaning and worth if their parents are doing it as well. So yeah, they could do things independently as well, but also we can do things with our youngsters and our teenagers, our kids, so they feel that kind of uh, comfort. For teenagers, Shivani, just to say that while children find this difficult, like living with their parents and trying to understand what the parents are going through,
Yeah.
for teenagers it can be a time for their lives in their lives where they are trying to achieve emotional independence,
Yes.
which means that they need to understand how to make decisions without their parents
True.
and have choices, have interests that do not involve their parents' own interests. So that's the independence. It's, like a kind of a coming of age thing, moving on sort of a thing. So parents also need to be congruent of that and see how painful or frustrating it must be for their child to miss their first year of college, to miss their last year of college, to not be in school, not to have those fun moments that, for us, after finishing school and college, a year or two, we might hear us, in amongst our circles, we might hear people saying that, oh, I'm so happy to be, away from social contact. I enjoy my time. But for the teenagers, it's a
Teenager,
very
yeah.
different
I
experience.
am the mother of a teenager, and she's a very ambitious kid who was in ninth grade. She was talking about what university she wants to go to, and now suddenly the future. They are a bit uncertain. Where will they get admission? What will happen? Thankfully, they have used technology very well. She has a Zoom session with her friends every evening, and they dance and sing and all that. And sometimes I get worried when they shut the door. That happens with teenagers, and we keep on telling her, "Come out of your room." So, how do we make sure that the child is right now? They are fine. They are okay. Or are there any warning signs to look out for when a child is becoming a loner or maybe an introvert and stuck to the room?
Well, I think like, if we had our parents staying with us even at this age, we'd want to go shut ourselves in our room.
Absolutely.
So I think things don't.
Wow, you've given me a new perspective.
Why? It happens, doesn't it? And if you get their parents there, even they will shut themselves. Everyone wants their independence, doesn't want to be told what to do. And we don't like it at any age, being told what to do.
Yes.
So that's one aspect. But I do hear what you're saying about warning signs, and it could be not only with your teen, but also with other members in your family. And some of the warning signs are, the main things for you to look out for is there an impairment
Mhm.
in their health and their psychosocial functioning,
Okay.
which means are they able to maintain relations, are they able to have keep their jobs or academically keep up while their health is on. So different areas of your life need to be functioning all right. And if you find, and if it's okay, like if it's going on at an average or whatever, that's fine. But if you see some impairment there, some real difficulties there, then it's time to perhaps reach out for professional help. And there's no shame or stigma in that. It's just a way of understanding what's going on, fixing the situation, and moving on.
Okay. Now, work from home has also taken a toll on many families and relationships. Earlier we would go out, meet our colleagues, friends, and now all of us are restricted to the house. And sometimes we don't want noise in the house because we are on a call and things like that. How can families support each other in this time?
Yes, this is a real tough one because for some of us who are not living with families and are alone, we are finding it very hard to work and manage our lives, like in terms of getting our meals and,
Yes.
like even experiencing the loneliness
Mm.
of just being alone.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that for the people who are not living with their family, and that
Yeah.
itself is
Imagine being
difficult.
in a lockdown and being alone. I mean, it's
Yes,
unthinkable.
it is
But
a
there were many
reality.
people who went
It
through
is a
that.
reality for so many, and it's extremely hard. And for them, they try and the only thing that they could possibly do is really like look at a routine and try to help stay connected with their family members or friends, and find something meaningful to do, right? And for those who are living with their families, I think it's important to be able to really segregate
Okay.
the time, which
Okay.
is very difficult to do, I understand, because you want to kind of validate the time that you're working from home because it doesn't feel like real work. At least now I think things might change, but you tend to work more than get involved with your family or emotional life. The
That has
truth
happened.
is, a lot
People
of
are
us
not
run
switching off.
away. Sorry, a
People
lot
are
of us.
switching off on time.
Yes,
Work
switching
from
off. Yes.
yeah.
Like, when work finishes, we finish the work.
Yes.
Now, the thing is that a lot of us use work as a getaway from our emotional,
Wow.
difficulties.
Yeah, that's a big one. True.
Yes. And so a whole lot of us are living with those difficulties, uh, which might be connected with our family relations
Mhm.
and trying to work. So I think sometimes in life it also comes to that point where you have to, where you come to that door which you need to pass through.
Yes.
So that happens. So if there are emotional difficulties that you're experiencing in your families, it's all right to reach out for help and see what you can do to make things better, because it may be a block from both sides that can be worked on.
Okay. Now, you've also worked with companies and organizations earlier. I mean, you've been doing that. I didn't mention it to you while discussing yesterday, but what kind of corporate programs have you done in the past, and what can be done now in this scenario if a company wants to engage you in, say, motivating their staff? What
Yeah. I
staff is
think like usually what happens in these groups is something that is it becomes less interactive
Hmm.
because of it being a virtual space.
Yes.
However, in these art sessions, we are able to have an anonymity, yet feel like we are sharing.
Okay.
And it can be a very de-stressing kind of session for the employees, because they are not looking at we are not looking at artistic ability or talent. We're only using art as a medium to help one make an inner connect, to find your inner creativity, to feel that mind body connect, and
So even
de-stress.
somebody who's never painted or scribbled before can go for something like this?
Absolutely. It's just like it's really, I only use it like, we use breath work
Okay.
and, music and the medium of paints. It's a sensorial, it's basically you're using a sensorial connect.
Okay.
And that's how you are connecting with yourself. And so, how you paint as an artist is not important. Like, look at this.
Wow.
This is
What
just,
is
you can say wow now, but when you actually look at it, they're just some blobs that I put of
yes.
black clouds. When you put it all together, it looks
It
nice.
looks so nice, yeah. Abstract too.
So it's like, so I think when the whole thing is that in these programs, when you realize that you can find art to find yourself, when you create something which has no appraisal or nothing, we're not going to do anything with the product that you've made. But when you make this, you realize that you have creativity and you can do whatever you like with that creativity. Your world can change in ways that you could never imagine. What things did not seem possible now may seem possible. You will approach different problems and different aspects in your life through different perspectives, because part of your brain starts opening up and looking at things differently when
That
you
sounds
connect
good.
to yourself. So, art is not the only way. One can also sing,
Yeah.
dance, do gardening. It's all about being sensorial.
Yeah, I've been singing a lot. Last year, I survived through singing karaoke
Oh,
and
lovely.
painting a bit of painting. But yeah, it does put your mind at ease. At least for that 1 hour, you don't worry about anything what is happening around you. Okay, now you've given some tips regarding breathing. Could you also give some more tips to stay positive? Would say switching off phones or social media for a few hours help? Do prayer and meditation help? And how do we interpret them in psychological parlance?
Okay, that's nice how you put it. Well, you see, when it comes to the first thing, like about switching off your screen or going away, well, you have to find an activity that is really meaningful.
Yes.
So if you're switching it off and sitting there and looking at your phone, I don't know.
And anxious again that what has happened
And
recently.
then the message comes,
You want to include in also.
I just want to go see who sent me that message. I just
Yeah.
want to see. So I think if you are going off the screen to de-stress, you need to find something meaningful to do.
Yeah.
And that could be even trying out a recipe or cleaning out a closet or, just simple mundane things that one can do, which could be meaningful because you're doing it for you and your home and your space. So that
Yeah,
is,
earlier we would crib that there's no time to do certain things. Now we have all the time in the
yes.
world.
Yes, so you can, find something meaningful to replace the screen. It can be extremely de-stressing and wonderful to find that white space of with just you and your, environment. It can help you recharge and be more, productive, and you can connect better with people when you have that time to recharge every now and then.
Okay. And the prayer and meditation,
Yes,
how
so the
does it
prayer
help?
and meditation is such that even in our prayers, the way the prayers are written and the way we say it,
Hmm.
there is some breath work involved.
Yes.
The
We
way we
don't
breathe
notice
in and
that
we
then.
say that and we exhale, it can be extremely soothing.
Okay.
But we must remember that when we pray and meditate, it is just for ourselves.
Okay.
We need not carry everybody with us.
Hmm.
So when I'm going to say my prayers, I need not say, I'm going to say my prayers now. You know,
Yeah.
you can just go and say your prayers. And if I want to listen to meditational music, I can just listen to it in my own space.
Yeah.
I don't need everyone to be involved.
Yeah.
That can cause undue stress for people who are not ready
Hmm.
to do that at that particular time. So
True.
it's a very personal thing, prayer and meditation. And meditation, if you find it difficult to just space out, take some time out and do it, the breath work itself is meditation.
Yes.
Or you painting or doing anything, any ritualistic activity that you're, I mean, sorry, like a repetitive activity that you're doing while breathing
Hmm.
can be meditative.
Yeah, yesterday somebody sent me a forward that even while singing, the way you have to hold your breath. So in a way, it is breath work. It
It is.
improves your even lung functioning. So I was very happy to know that a simple thing like singing was actually improving my lung function. And these days, all of us want to do that. Now, many people have lost jobs, lost loved ones also, and they've been more severely hit. I would say there are three categories: people who have lost loved ones who are grieving right now. Then there are some who have COVID probably, but maybe asymptomatic or not very serious. They have to be quarantined. And then the third category who are anxious. Now, I think it is also our duty to help out those who are more seriously hit, isn't it? How can we help those people cope? Our friends, our family, who may have lost jobs, lost loved ones? How can we help them cope better?
So it's a tough one because what they are
One
dealing
thing
with.
is you can't go and meet them at times. We are in different cities. there are cases where we are here, our parents are in some other city, we can't go and travel. It's become, I don't know, I really don't know certain
It's
things.
very restrictive, and we are not able to reach out and do the things that we would. Sometimes when someone is going through a loss, if you just land up and hang around, just be
Yeah,
there with
earlier,
them, that
I
itself
think
is
what
comforting for
earlier
them.
even mourning used to be in a community, but now often families are left alone doing
Yes,
that.
yes.
So
So
you can at least call up. I mean, what would you suggest?
yeah, I think they need to just know that you're there,
Mm.
and every now and then, if you could tune in and let them know, rather than these daily messages, which become stressful for them to then
Yeah.
go through. Maybe like some kind of a message where they don't need to reply to also you could send. If sometimes it helps us more
Yes.
than them
True. I think
to
sometimes
just
we
feel
do it
better.
for ourselves.
I feel so helpless not being so far away that if I just send this message, it might give me some comfort as well.
Mm.
So yes, it becomes so tough, and
Okay.
it's very difficult to deal with that kind of situation.
Now, lack of physical activity too has an effect on moods and hormones. How important it is to stay active and agile in a situation like this? Do you think? See, a very simple thing that if we do exercise of any form, our mood is better. It uplifts our mood. Now, when we are restricted at home, can also that also affect our psyche and what we are going through, our moods?
Yeah, I guess, like it definitely, when we exercise, it's a mood uplifter.
Yes.
It helps us release the endorphins, the right chemicals get released in our brain, and we feel good. It also makes us feel like something was meaningful in our day, and if we don't have a very productive day, at least we know that there was something meaningful we did. And it's a mind body connect again. So it gives us that feeling of empowerment. And if we approach it from that way, if we approach exercise from a attitude of fitness, for
Mhm.
mind body fitness,
Yes.
that can give us a lot of solace and comfort. However, if we are looking at it only for weight loss,
Mhm.
that can cause certain anxiety, because then we are always there is also this whole thing of maybe overdoing it for ourselves or feeling disappointed in the way we are working. Yeah, we could do it for weight loss, and it could be for a certain period of time we can plan it out. However, yeah, so I think the more than the lack of it, it is the value of it that it can bring to your life. The lack of it, of course, would make you feel lethargic and lack a meaning in your life, a purposeful, uh, just to have purpose in the day. But to have it in your day would be very meaningful. And you could look at online classes. One
Yeah,
can
there are
consider.
a lot. There is dance on YouTube. You find everything, right, from
Yes.
aerobics to Zumba,
Yeah,
all those things.
you can.
Now, what are the long-term effects of this phase, of stay-at-home phase that you see as a psychologist?
I uh, you're talking about if this continues, what will
This
happen to us.
continues, and what
Yeah.
I feel is 2021 is also going to be like this. So 2 years have gone.
Well, I have a favorite psychologist, Shivani. His name is Carl Rogers, and he's like really one of the biggest people in counseling. He's a father of counseling. I feel like that. So he talks about how human beings have this unlimited ability to move towards becoming or towards human beingness,
Oh,
towards self actualization. We keep moving on no matter what. You put a potato somewhere in a corner in the dustbin, it will grow,
yes,
it will sprout.
yes.
This seems like a stuck point, but we will adapt. We will grow. We will keep moving towards something positive because we have that anchoring within us. We know that there is hope, and that no matter what happens to our country or this world, we will we will make it through. And I think that is a belief that we all have. And I think as human beings, we may adapt
Mhm.
to the changes and find ways of coping and dealing with it. Because, see, it's like this in counseling, right? Let me show you this, okay? So, suppose, like this is my art, this was my dining table, now it's an art table. So, suppose this is you, okay? This is you, and today these are your issues. You have, say, you have this, this is one of your issues, this is one of your issues. Maybe you have
Anxiety, depression, stress,
maybe all
whatever.
of these are your issues today, okay? And
Okay.
let's say the pandemic is here,
Yeah.
okay? Pandemic is also your issue. Tomorrow, you may not have any of these issues. Tomorrow, you might have all of these issues.
Oh, something totally.
Something else.
Yeah.
My focus will always be you.
You. Yeah.
You will always be my focus. How is this person dealing with what they are experiencing? Pandemic or no pandemic? Let's strengthen their core. Let's make them feel like they can believe, like they need to believe in themselves, find their inner strength to, combat whatever comes in their way,
Okay.
to just bash on regardless.
So we need to harness that resilience in all of us, which exists. And let's hope that we can learn how to prioritize our health in future. I would say Indians, I mean, generic statement, but we've not been the most health conscious people also in the past. And let's prioritize that, both mental health as well as physical health, and try to find something positive in this space to learn something new, learn a new craft, show our creativity, and let's be kind to everybody around us. I think that's how we would like to sum it up, or any parting words if you would like to give us.
Yeah, no, I think that really sums it up really well. Shivani, it's very good what you're saying. I would say that let self-preservation be your mantra. Take care of yourself and everything will sort itself out.
All right.
Like in a natural way because you're looking after other people, so take care of you.
Yes, wonderful. That was lovely to hear from you, an expert in the field. Although in our ways we tell ourselves every day, but the tips you gave us were very, very useful, and I'm sure our viewers enjoyed it. Thank you so much. I don't see many questions in the comments, so I think we'll close the session. And if anybody wants, they can continue commenting on the session, and I'm sure Saher will be able to help you or guide you, or you can contact her if anybody needs a personalized kind of a program for any issue that you might be facing. Thank you so much, Saher, for joining us.
Thank you, Shivani.
It
Thank
was
you
a
so
very
much.
calming and a soothing chat with you today.
Thank you all for joining in. I'm so delighted that you could join us today. I feel very encouraged and hope it was useful for you. So
I'm sure it
bye.
was. Bye bye.
Bye.